Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today, as we are in the final moments before Bitcoin ETF approval and a massive uptrend in the crypto market, as it has been confirmed by Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balkunis, as he states it's basically done. Latest I'm hearing from multiple sources is that final S1s are now due 8 a.m. on Monday, as the SEC is trying to line everyone up for a January 11th launch. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been trying to pinpoint the exact day of an ETF approval, but this dude is, how you like to say, the expert, leading reporter on ETF news like this. We're getting confirmation. Price action, in my opinion, will precede the announcement. But it's a special time to be alive if you want to take your profits as an altcoin investor, because it is your absolute last chance to get in to powerful altcoin positions right now before they take off. Ladies and gentlemen, XRP included. But if you haven't done so already, please sign up to my OnlyFans at onlyfans.com/thebearablebull, as I've posted a 5-minute video reminding all of you of what you can buy right now in terms of alts that will give you the ROI. Bitcoin is not going to give you ROI right now. We are almost at its peak, but there are plenty of coins that I have mentioned that I believe 100% will give you some gains. Please subscribe to that. And if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to DM me. Now, that being said, what I do want to warn you about is that the SEC is now posting warnings saying do not FOMO into digital assets. Imagine little old Gary saying no go to FOMO. First of all, this is really hilarious to see. But second of all, when things like this are lining up, you know we're getting to a critical marketing campaign moment for the crypto industry, and you know the news for the classes is this will be a sell the news event. 110%, no doubt about it. Once the ETF news launches, watch the Bitcoin price retrace in value. The opportunity is in the altcoins, and I can't stress that enough. Now guys, not only is it in the altcoins, but I believe the best strategy you can implement is having your long-term XRP bag, but also being diversified in other alts, because XRP does like to move last. And then rotating those profits from those other high quality altcoins into XRP for the final ROI boost. Here, Eleanor Tourette stated Grayscale has added XRP to its digital large cap fund, which seeks to provide investors with exposure to large cap coverage of the digital asset market. And I remember telling all of you in a recent video, I believe an XRP ETF will be next in line after an Ethereum ETF. This is all such bullish momentum for the crypto market, and especially for XRP that has full-blown legal clarity in the United States. An XRP ETF will open the floodgates. And guys, right now, we are absolutely closer to it than we've ever been before. And I believe it's possible that it could even launch as soon as this year. Now, that is a little bit of speculation, and I genuinely hope it happens. Now, something I do want to mention is that we are currently going through a geopolitical event. Numerous Black Swan events around the world. China-Taiwan is going to reach a climax of a moment. Politically, regardless of what side of the aisle you are in the US, 2024 will be a crazy election year. There's tension in regard to lists being released. There are alien narratives here in Miami. Oh, good Lord, 2024 is going to be entertaining. It's going to be volatile. But to this community of savages that I've helped to garner, you guys will all come out of the other side, the new 1%, because you're paying attention at the money-making opportunities in front of us. There is a spark that will occur, not just in the Middle East, not just in Europe, US, Asia, but around the world. And at the time when there's social division, people will not pay taxes. Politicians will take advantage of this. There will be a radical shift in the value of money. This is why digital assets make sense. But with the tokenization of real world assets, they do much better for public good. There will be a rethinking of what money is, and a shift in trust in government, when governments can no longer print money. Humanity will, in my opinion, shift towards technological rails that Ripple and XRP are building, that Ripple and other companies are building. And when the AI/UBI plus CBDC system is full-blown rolled out, oh my Lanta, the amount of wealth we will all accumulate, that will be seismic beyond your wildest dreams.
We're clearly going through some sort of geopolitical event, not only in this region, but in Europe. China as well. There's likely some sort of spark that will occur. And let's face it, climate is becoming much more significant in terms of risks. And when you look at a reaction of a country to war and community, the deterioration of communities through climate change, countries have really little risk associated with there's a lot of risk actually associated with what do you do in those situations. You can affect policy, you can increase taxes to pay for certain things, or you can print more money. And at a time when there's a lot of social division, people are just not going to be paying taxes, and politicians will take advantage of that. And if you want to stimulate the economy and pay for weapon systems that are expensive, or substitute food and fuel prices, which are priced in dollars, you have to print money. So I think there's going to be a radical shift in the value of money, and digital assets make a lot of sense if they're Bitcoin and Ethereum and actually create value and have scarcity. But I think with the tokenization of real world assets like gold and other assets that are real estate, etc., and even green metals that are important for rewiring food, soybean, wheat, things that are liquid, and also certain other assets that people rely on for their daily good, those are much more solid and productive assets for the public good. And so when we look at money, we look at how does it do actual public good rather than just create a transaction or store value characteristics. How does it do things that help ultimately society? So I think there's going to be a rethinking of what money is, not just around how does it create the basic characteristics, means of payment, store value, unit of exchange, but how does it then translate into something that people can rely on when government can no longer print it? And I think humanity will shift towards something that is technologically based and certainly take advantage of the rails that Ripple and others have created to participate in that evolution.
Thank you very much, Reda. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to say is that, in my opinion, 2024 is going to be the year where Ripple and XRP start being named in conferences and documents and by politicians and innovators as a legitimate solution to the inevitable debt crisis and banking problem we're about to experience. There is going to be a revaluation of money, currencies, a shift in how money is moved. And with that, I do believe a gold revaluation is inevitable. We are 34 trillion damn dollars in debt here in the US. And the only thing that, in my opinion, could help with this debt crisis is the revaluation of money. There's information beginning to leak that there are accounts for this gold revaluation. And what I have to stress to every single one of you is that this is a conversation being had. We are in the midst of the storm. And I hope every single one of you pay extremely close attention.
I've had some questions on, well, how do you know they're going to do that gold revaluation?
Okay.
Right? Well, it's very simple, really. When you have something that has no intrinsic value, it's used in one area and confidence is lost. You have to revalue that against something that is all intrinsic value because it is used in every single sector of the global economy. So it is not a random revaluation. This is confidence, right? You put it out over 5,000 years, this has worked as money and held your purchasing power intact. This lasts for a very short period of time. But when they do those revaluations, to your point, they have to take something that nobody trusts that has no real intrinsic value and do that revaluation against something that everybody trusts, because those people that are in power want you to continue to trust the system. And so they bring in real trusted money. And, we were talking about Zimbabwe. And what I find really interesting in Zimbabwe is about the fact that they came out, was it last year-ish or a year and a half ago, something like that,
Yeah.
with 1 ounce gold coin. Well, who can afford a 1 ounce gold coin in Zimbabwe but the upper class? Then, in trying to get that to the general public, they came out with a gold-backed digital CBDC, but you cannot convert it into the underlying physical gold. So,
very good point.
right? So, and I want people to be really conscious of that, because until it is fully convertible, it ain't done. It's just another tool to get you into the system to trust those that are currently in power. Why are they in power? They have done such a horrendous job for the masses, but a fabulous job for the few.
And oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I could not have said it better myself. Gold will be what helps with the resetting of the financial system to stabilize us after the crisis. But what Lynette Zhang stated there in that interview with the Blackswan capitalists is that this new gold standard, this new digital gold backed by gold currency system that I believe is coming, by the way, you won't be able to redeem your CBDC for gold. Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the AI age where automation is going to replace your job and your salary. AI is outperforming you already. It is smarter than you already. We're going to reach the point of no return. And the only way people will be able to survive is with universal basic income. And they'll do it in the form of a CBDC. They're going to incentivize UBI as the way to get the CBDC system onto your doorstep. They're going to say it's sound money because the CBDC is backed by gold. But what they're trying to do now is get you out of the assets that'll make you the ROI. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is the distraction from the real money-making opportunities in crypto. People are likely only going to see a $50,000 Bitcoin because of this ETF news in the immediate short term, while other cryptos have a chance to 2 to 5x. Whenever the mainstream is telling you to go one way, you should run as far away from that direction as possible. Here we have public enemy number one in the crypto space, Jay Clayton, being handed softballs, being asked about the Bitcoin ETF approval. And isn't it so interesting that after his time at the SEC, he's so public on CNBC, manipulating the market? Ladies and gentlemen, why don't they give him the hard-hitting questions? Why the fuck did you sue Ripple? Let's talk about that, Jay. Nobody cares about your opinion about an ETF getting approved. He said, when I was chair of the SEC, I was concerned about underlying Bitcoin trading market. And I think we've gotten past that. No, we haven't. We have no clarity. We have a worse SEC chair, believe it or not, and more uncertainty because you didn't write the rules. You left that open gap on purpose. And then you attacked the XRP army. Fuck Jay Clayton and everything he is. And fuck the SEC and everything they stand for. Now, guys, I am going to leave you with the lizard talk coming out of this reptilian's mouth. Because I do want you guys to hear what they are currently telling the masses. So you know that the opposite is likely true. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. Before I leave you for today, I need to give you a gentle reminder that I will be using the exit strategy app Merlin for my exit strategy execution with XRP and other cryptos this bull market. And what I love about Merlin is that I'm able to see the ROI and the amount of money I'm going to make from different entry points and exit points from XRP and other cryptos based on the percentage profits I'm looking to take at certain levels. And it's a great tool that gives you the visual of how your profit taking can work in 2024. Guys, I'm going to stress urgently that you try it for free before it's too late, before you're caught flat-footed when the bull market is taking place, and get your exit strategies ready. The link to use Merlin is down in the description below. And I believe they're going to be a mandatory tool I use and all of you should use in the 2024 bull market. Now, guys, as always, I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
So it seems like there's kind of short-term pressure on the SEC in terms of the huge run-up in Bitcoin and the idea that if they don't approve this now, after all this expectation, a lot of people are going to lose their shirts in the Bitcoin markets. But there's also this sort of long-term concern about investor protection, right? Because if you talk about people investing their retirement funds now in a Bitcoin ETF, and Bitcoin has been such a wildly volatile item out there, these huge epic swings that you don't see in other asset classes, you talk about people maybe losing their retirement funds in the long run. So how do you balance those two things as the SEC looking at this, on a Friday night in early January?
Well, Lehman, let me talk about the SEC's role here. And what I would say is the three things the SEC felt that they had to get right before they approve it. And, approval is not certain, but I've said that approval this week is not certain, but I believe approval eventually is inevitable.
It feels like
what do
it's
they have to get
right?
right? It's coming.
Yeah.
What do they have to get right? The disclosure has to be right, okay, so that people understand what they're buying. The second thing is the underlying trading market has to be efficacious. It has to be of a quality that manipulation, the type of just bad behavior that you don't want to see in an underlying trading market is eliminated or at an acceptable minimum. And then lastly, and this is very important here with a digital asset, the pipes have to work. The product itself, the custody, the create, the redemption. Kate talked about authorized participants and the arbitrage and how this product actually functions. That has to work. So the SEC has to have gotten comfortable that all those things are going to function as they should. I've said many times when I was chair of the SEC, I was concerned about that underlying Bitcoin trading market. So, I think we've gotten past that. On your question about investors, I rarely give investment advice. I don't know whether Bitcoin's going to be worth a lot or a little. I will say this. This is a speculative, volatile asset. No good investment advisor or broker-dealer would tell you to put a substantial portion of your investment assets into a single volatile or speculative asset.
You say that, Jay, I'm sorry to interrupt. You say that, but somebody will, right? I mean, somebody out there in the financial advisory world will say, you know what? You want to make some money in your retirement funds? Get into this. It's going to expand, and somebody's going to lose their shirt, right? I mean, that's just the nature of
Hey, let me just say this. I would hope that no broker-dealer or investment advisor registered with the SEC would tell somebody to put all their chips in the Bitcoin basket.